da 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 da. Yo, kill. Link with the kill of them, seconds to Trinidad. Pick up the whole of them. Come on, get it, no, I get anything I.
Okay. So, I'm taking a walk this morning. I just got off work. And I'm taking a walk this morning to clear my head. I feel like this video is like a long time coming, and it's not even really what I had in mind of doing, explaining like in depth everything. That's gonna have to be separate videos, but this kicks it off. So this is long overdue, but the last 3 years of my life have been like, if what the fuck was like in the amount of years, the last 3 years of my life is like a what the fuck stage. Like, I understood none of it at all, but what can you do? Is life, so you just gotta go with the shit, you know? And this really started in like September of 2019, where September of 2019. Matter of fact, no. This really started in like July of 2019. So in July of 2019, I was living in New York City with my daughter Zion by myself. How I got there, that's another story time. But I was living in New York City with my daughter Zion by ourselves, and a situation like mad crazy happened where I was, and I end up having to leave and go stay with a family friend. So me and Zion, we pack all our stuff up and we're going to stay with this family friend. We're going to call her Toast. We are going to stay with this family friend Toast and her children. And Toast I've known since I was like 6. I might even know her before then too and just didn't know. But we went to the same Christian school as kids. And so she was a teenager in high school, and I was in like 4th grade, 3rd grade, some shit like that. So, yeah, so Toast, that's who we went to go stay with. Toast lived in Brooklyn. So we go to stay with Toast. I already know before I get to Toast's crib that the living conditions is not something that I would stay in for a long time. Like, that, I'm just not that type of girl. She lived in the projects, you know what I'm saying? And it just wasn't how I would live or how I'm used to living with my mom. So I already knew that me and Zion was not going to stay there long at all. Like, I really was waiting on some money to come through for me, and it was a lot at one time. And so I was like, I'm just wait for this money. I had to go to court and do a whole bunch of shit we only stayed at her house for like a week and a half. Yo, this is crazy. We only stayed at her house for a week and a half, but it felt like a fucking year. So we're staying there, whatever. And I'm going to court while I'm there. So because I know Toast for so long, and Toast and my mom is so close, like we trusted Toast. Like Toast was, you never had to second think about Toast, in my opinion. So I'm over there with Toast, whatever. I'm going to the court dates, and everything to get that largest amount of money at the one time. And then I was just gonna get on a Chinese bus back to North Carolina to where my mom was living and use that money to, you know, get a bigger place and do whatever, because the South is cheaper. And it's like, why would I sit here and spend my time doing this in New York right now when my daughter is going through so much, missing her family? So, oh my God, this house right here they building. Ooh. So, yeah, I'm going to the course and everything, blah, blah. This whole time, I'm leaving Zion with Toast because I trust Toast with my daughter. So I'm like, yo, watch her. Can you watch her while I go do Because in the beginning, I was taking Zion with me to court in Jamaica, Queens, because Zion always with me. Everywhere I go, Zion was always with me. So it was like, it wasn't no big thing. But the courts, I was in there all day. Like, and Zion was so bored. She was in there all day. She was hungry. She was bored because I couldn't leave. Once I was in, I couldn't leave and like dip back out and whatever. So, she was like, yeah, I'll watch her for you or whatever. Go ahead. You know, you good. You did. Mind you, Toast have her own children, right? So Toast's children is bullying my daughter. They locking her in the closet. They doing mad shit to her. And I didn't know. I didn't know that was going on because Zion was trying to tell me, but then Toast would ask her kids about it, and her kids would be like, no, mommy, you know, I didn't do that, or that's not true, or she is being over dramatic or whatever. And so then Toast would be like, oh, Zion, you need to learn how to play. Like, y'all big kids, that's how y'all playing, right? And I'm like, okay. Well, I'm like, you know what? Just focus on getting the money so that you can go. So I'm focused on getting the money to the point where Zion is with Toast all the time for this like week and a half. She is at Toast's place with Toast kids for this part. So all this stuff is going on during that time, and I don't even know what's going on except for when Zion tell me. And every time Zion's telling me, I'm going to Toast like, yo, again she said the same thing happened with you and your kid, or again she said, you know, she's uncomfortable, or when I leave that she don't feel safe. Like, what's going on? We family, right? So why would I even have to bring this up? Like, what's going on? And she like, oh, Zion, you know, she's dramatic and they not doing nothing to her and all this other stuff, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, I understand that my daughter is extra because I'm extra. But after so many times of your kid coming to you and telling you that things is happening to her, who you believe? Your kid. Like, so it's already getting there, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not really saying nothing because I'm like, Aja, you can't bug out in here. You can't go crazy because you have your daughter with you and you up here by yourself. If you go to jail, something happen to you in New York, who's gonna have your kid? So this whole time, I'm being cool and calm, you feel me? Like, I'm not trying to fight this person because this person is like a sister to me. So even though I don't like what I see going on, I'm still not, I am trying to fight this person. You know what I'm saying? Long story short, my friend Naja at that time, she was over in the area or whatever of Toast crib. So one day I go out to meet her down in the circle, and we talking whatever. We go to her friend's crib just to chill for a little bit because she wasn't staying for a long time. And on my way out, I'm like, I could take Zion. They was playing everything, and it was like, no. Zion was like, no, I want to play. And the other kids was like, no, she's playing with us. Zion's playing with us. So cool, did that. I get a call from Toast's adopted sister in where it says her grandmother adopted this little girl. So I get a call from her, and she's like, Zion, you need to come because Zion is crying and she's saying she needs you now, whatever. They bullying her they lock her in the closet and stuff like that, whatever. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm on my way. So when I get there, whatever, I'm like, yo, so what happened? And Toast kids is all like, oh, well, Zion's lying. That didn't happen. That's not the truth. Da da da, whatever. And so I'm asking Zion. I'm talking to her. I'm like, you tell me, what happened. So then she told me what happened. I'm like, oh no, y'all wilding. You're locking her inside of a closet and you're tormenting my kid. You're wilding. You definitely wilding. So I basically called Toast in or whatever, and I'm like, Zion said that this is what's going on, and her name, so I'm gonna have to bleep that out. And the girl called my phone and was telling me what's going on. And so I said, but she did that before Zion said what happened to her. And so Toast was like, oh, well, that's not true because I asked the kids what happened and that's just not true. Like, that's not what happened. They say the Zion is over exaggerating. And now at this point, I'm tight. Because I'm like, all right, how many times you going to keep telling me you asked your kids and they said this didn't happen? Or how many times you're going to keep telling me that my child is over exaggerating? No, she's not. Like, you trying to play me now to my face. If this was your kid, it would not take this many attempts for you to understand that something was happening to them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to take it there with this person that I really don't even want to get ugly with, because I love this person, even though how they're behaving and how they're allowing their children to behave towards me and mine is not something that I'm agreeing with at all. I still love this person, so I don't want to fight this person. So I call my mom and I'm like, yo, Mom, call Toast because I don't know what's going on, but I got one more day to court. I think I was supposed to go to court that next day, and I was expecting to get the check that next day. And I was like, I got one more day to go to the court to get the money, but Toast and her kids is wilding, and I don't wanna fight Toast because we love Toast. So can you call Toast? Because I don't know. So then my mom calls Toast, and Toast tells her like, oh, she over exaggerating. Aisha, she over exaggerating. That's not the case at all. Zion, she be playing with the kids, and I be telling them stop playing like that. And the stuff people say to the person they respect, but it's not really the truth. So I'm like, okay. Push on the shove, we end up almost fighting outside in the little circle, and Toast is like mad bigger than me. I'm 5'2" and I'm chunky and I got a big booty, but Toast is like 6 something, mad brolic, mad tall, titties is a size E, feel me? Like, she's mad bigger than me. I don't care. At this point, I'm mad. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to walk away from you. I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to tell you how I feel while my back is turned to you. Because if I look at you, I'm going to spaz on you. So I'm going to turn around and walk away. And is this a dead end? Yeah, it is. I'm going to turn around and walk away and still tell you how I feel. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to definitely turn my back to you at this point, because I'm not trying to go there with you, but I'm gonna speak my mind. So that happens. Next day, literally, I had to leave everything that I had accumulated for myself in New York, all the clothes, all the fashion, everything that I love. I had to leave all of that stuff behind at Toast's place, because now, even though that happened, In my mind, I'm still thinking, okay, but I'm going to break toe something off. And I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to walk out, give a little something, and walk out. That's what my mindset is thinking. So I'm in Chinatown trying to cash this check from the comptroller or whatever. And nobody can cash it because I didn't have a New York City address anymore. So I couldn't open up an account to cash the check, and it was too much money for them to just do it. So I'm going all around Chinatown looking or whatever, and I can't find it, and I'm about to miss my bus. I literally saved all the money that I could during that time period because I already knew something was going to jump. And so I had like $150. I literally used that money to buy the ticket. I was like, fuck that. I'm leaving everything. I used that money to buy the ticket so I can get on the Chinese bus and get to my mom. And when I got down there, I was able to cash the check, which is a blessing because we probably would have been arguing about that too. Like, I don't know. But so then that person feels like, oh, I just got my money and I left. No, I really tried to still break you off something. Even though my daughter left abused, I still tried to really break you off something. But the universe didn't want it to work like that. And that's not my problem. That's between you and God. But so that happened, right? So when that happened, I'm going down to North Carolina, remember? So I'm going down to North Carolina now to my mom. I get to North Carolina and basically I get to set up with this girl named Asada that my mom knows, woman named Asada. She's a business owner. She's an entrepreneur. She do dope fashion and like parties for kids and all types of stuff like that. I got in with Asada and was able to still have her agree to let me work for her if I left my daughter with my mom and I went to New York to stay at my godparents' house. Because they live in Jamaica, Queens, and we always had the type of relationship to where if I ever need to come to New York for anything, I know I can go to my godparents' house. So this was the plan. So I got down there, I had the money and everything. I made sure that the house had everything that it needed to have for them to be comfortable before I left, and that my mom had some money for them to be comfortable before I left. And then I went back to New York. So this is in September. So in September, I go to my godparents' house in Jamaica, Queens. They have children that they adopted, and then they have 2 children that they were able to create themselves or whatever at some point in time. Like, way after they adopted these children, then like miraculously they was able to have a kid, and then a little bit after that child they had another one, a son. So daughters first and then the son. So I go up to my godparents' house and I'm staying there. Remember, I'm supposed to go to this job thing. While I'm up there, I'm staying there, and then I go back down south to spend time with my daughter for a couple weeks and then come back up. I had it planned so perfectly. I was so excited. This is what I always wanted, like, to work in the fashion in New York City. Like, I love New York. Anybody that knows me knows that I love New York, and I always want to live there long term at some point. You know what I'm saying? So, whoops, flies. So yeah, I'm at my godparents' house or whatever. They live in Jamaica, Queens. So I get to my godparents' house, right? And I didn't even stay there longer than a month. Matter of fact, by the October 10th, I was leaving to go back down south to my mom's, because I was at my godparents' house and I found out that my godfather was having sex with his adopted daughter since she was 15 years old. And that just rocked my motherfucking world. Anybody knows me, they know that my godparents, like, even though I'd never really liked my godmother like that, because she be evil, she do evil stuff to people. Never to me, really, but to other people, she do evil stuff. And to our own kids, she do evil stuff. So me and my godmother didn't really get along like that for a long time. But me and my godfather, anybody who knows me, and I'm gonna call them correction officers. Anybody that knows me and knows how I feel about the correction officer, my godfather, they know that he could never do shit wrong in my eyes. Like, my godfather is my whole heart. He could never do shit wrong. Even when I knew that he was cheating on my godmother, I still did not care, because in my eyes, he do no wrong. I was like a daddy's girl in a sense. And because I didn't grow up with my father in my life, my relationship with my godfather was very special to me. And I would never, ever choose anybody over my godfather besides my mom's. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never choose nobody over my godfather. But when you're right, you're right. And when you're wrong, you're wrong. And I'm never going to coddle a predator, because I know how it feels to be preyed on by grown men and be taken advantage of by predators. So once I found out that you was a predator, my whole persona towards you changed, because I don't rock with that. And I don't know how so many other people rock with that with y'all. Like, they can know that you're a predator, and they still would be at your crib and bring their kids around you. That's weird to me, but I'm not doing that. So when I got to New York and I was staying with my godparents, it was like 3 days before my godbrother, the oldest one, before my godbrother in the cups comes out and says, yo, I heard daddy in fucking. What? I'm like, what are you saying? You're weird. First of all, that's not true. Yes, it is. Down here, everybody know this god brother. Everybody's scared of this god brother, or you was when you was growing up with him, because this god brother had real anger issues, and he put his hands on girls, like, or he had real anger issues, and everybody know that this god brother is not going to be played with. So when he jokes you up, or he's like trying to get something out of you, usually want to give it to this god brother, because you don't want to take it there with him, you know. But so yeah, that god brother, he basically was like, yeah, so that she can tell you, because she's gonna tell you. And I was like, what? And so I called him and said, hey, this god brother said that this happened, and I know that that's not true, and that he's drinking and stuff like that. So I just want to make sure that you know that's not true, right? Like, that's not really what's going on in here. And my god sister was like, she didn't say nothing. She was just standing there like a ghost. She didn't say nothing. And like, tell her. I said, tell her. And he started like pushing her and was like, tell her what happened. You know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm not lying. Like, don't make me look like a liar, Turtle. We're going to call her Turtle. Don't make me look like a liar, Turtle. So tell her what you and correction be doing. And little couple minutes later, Turtle breaks down and she says, as the saying, and he was like, and this happened, right? And she was like, yeah. He was like, okay, and what? And then this time when I came upstairs and I heard this, she was like, yeah. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, I still need proof. Like, I need proof. He was like, okay, well, when daddy tells me to come rub his hands and his feet, he means he wants me to come up there and have sex with him. And I was like, what? So what I started doing was I started staying late in the mornings, because usually I'm going out to Asada's. So I have to leave really early because they live so far out. I have to leave really early to get to Brooklyn on time. So in the mornings, I'm really not ever there. And if mommy asks, like, oh, you want to go with me here, or you want to whatever, I'd be like, yeah, I want to go. Usually, no. Nobody's in the house but Turtle, because Turtle gets treated like Cinderella. Well, used to get treated like Cinderella. So Turtle is always in the house. And Correction Man is always in the house because he's so cheap. He don't like doing nothing. He goes to work and he come home. And he go to work, he come home. He gets some food. He might go to church one day, but he go to work and he come home. He's very routine. So he starts telling her, texting her phone. She would wake me up in the morning, and every time that he would text her phone and say certain stuff, I would know what he meant by it. And so she didn't want to do it anymore. And so this is why she included me in. That's what's crazy. She included me in because she didn't like what she was doing with you. You're a grown man. You're supposed to be her father. That's weird. That's really weird. But she didn't like what she was doing with you. So she pulled me in so that I can help her get away. Because she know my energy. And she knows that I'm not going to go for her being treated wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong. So early in the mornings, every time he texts now, she wake me up. Aisha, he texting. I read the text. He'll be saying shit like, come rub. It'll be right after mommy usually takes her to school or whatever. So the house is like empty in the morning time. So he's like, come rub my feet. Come massage my hand. So when she's giving me the keywords that he's using and what they mean, I'm stopping it every time. So early in the morning when he think that I'm supposed to be leaving, I'm there. Hey, good morning. To come to the store with me right quick. He was tight. He was upset, and that brung out the truth in him. When I left there, he never looked at me that way. I was his baby, and that's how I know he did it. Because when I left there, he gave me this look, like I feel like he gave me this look like never talking to you again type thing. Like you should have mind your business. And if anybody knows, you know that look. What somebody's giving you, like, should have mind your business. At the end of the day, I'm sad about that because this is somebody I really truly cared about. And I had to choose the right thing over them because certain things is just not okay with me, and it shouldn't be okay with a lot of people. So, okay, boom. I could get deeper into this. Like I said, it's going to be basically small story times and one inside of one big story time. So if you want me to speak more on like a specific part, then comment down below so that I know which part I need to separate and do a whole story time on, because it's so much more to that story. Like, I'm trying to make it short, but it's so much more to that story, and all of it needs to come out, every little detail, because I swear to God, y'all would be like, yo, this man is a predator. There are other young girls that he's made feel uncomfortable. Like, yeah, that's another story time. But I freed her from bondage, and I'm so thankful that I'm even strong enough to help somebody do that. I show gratitude for that. But that's crazy. That Turtle tell her mom what actually happened to her, because her mom was a drug addict, and so that's how she ended up in foster care, getting adopted by my godparents. So we had Turtle tell her mom everything that happened, the truth, and she was so mad. Her mom was like so mad. She was like, thank you so much for helping her. Oh my God. I'ma come down there because it's cheaper to live, and I'm in recovery. I'm getting clean. I'ma come down there, whatever. So we're like, okay, Turtle's still saying when she get off the phone with her mom, I'm not living with her. I'm staying right here with y'all. I'm not living with her. I'd rather stay here with 6 of us in the 2-bedroom than to go live with my mom. And she got a drug problem. And I ain't never seen her have a place to live for a long time. Right? So then, like a month and a half, 2 months go by. And out of nowhere, Turtle's mom is down there. And she's like, she's recovering. She here with her boyfriend. And they staying in hotels for right now. But they was going to get an apartment and something or whatever. It's like, what? She was surprised when her mom got down there. Because she really was like, I'm not staying with her. I hope she really don't come. Because I don't want the responsibility of taking care of somebody. I've been doing that my whole life. I want to just focus on me. So we're like, okay, like, just let her come. You don't got to live with her. You can stay here as long as you want to, whatever. So her mom come down with the boyfriend out of nowhere. Within like 2 weeks, of Turtle talking to her mom, Turtle don't like it there no more. Now she don't like it in the house no more, and she want to go be with her mom because she tired of being a burden on us or whatever. And we like, where this coming from? So Turtle leaves. She basically runs away. She leave letters. I still have Turtle's letter inside my wallet today because it broke my heart and made me cry. Turtle didn't want to leave. She just didn't want to let down her mom. And I still love Turtle to this day because she's been through a lot of shit, and she's still semi-normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Yeah, Turtle goes basically and runs away to her mom's. And her mom moved to a town outside of the town that we were staying in, but it's like a 10 to 15 minute drive depending on where you are going into that town. And that was that. She left, and that was that. She left her note, her letter to me saying that she loved me and she was sorry and not to, be upset with her. She's trying to find her way. I still talk to Turtle to this day. Every now and then I text her and I be like, Turtle, how you doing? You good? You need anything? Because regardless of the fact, she left because of trauma. Her mom, I feel like her mom preyed on her emotions, and she left because of trauma. But at the end of the day, Turtle, I love Turtle. And if Turtle ever called me and said, I need your help, I'm coming to beat you on whatever, I'm picking her up every fucking time. Every motherfucking time, Turtle. But yeah. So that's what that's about. Myself to talk about my feelings. Like, I need to force myself to be vulnerable because I literally will not talk to anybody about anything, like, for real. And that's not good. Not good to not talk to anybody. So the purpose of this video is for me to start releasing some of this shit, and I hope that it helps somebody else heal or open up about whatever they have going on in their life, and like choices that they made, things that happen across the journey, they learned from. But yeah, my purpose is to do this because I feel like when I was younger, like, I was buck wild when I was young. I was buck wild and I was just in shit, but it was because I was going through a lot as a kid and I didn't talk. Like, I didn't want to talk to nobody. And so I just was fighting. I didn't want to talk to nobody, so I was mad at everybody. And that ended me up, like, I ended up in jail. I ended up with a kid at 16. I ended up with, like, dropping out of school. I ended up with a whole bunch of shit that I feel like if I would have just talked, maybe it would have been way better than what it is. And I see now how, as a parent, that my daughter is turning out to be like me because she's watching me deal with things this way. You know what I'm saying? And